Hello. Okay, this is going to be the tutorial to finish the Easter egg on the new map Shattered Vale. Before I want to start, I want to say this is a massive collectathon and that there is stuff absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to input where you need to pick things up at specific points in the video. However, just know you can pick any of these up at any time in the game. So if you find items early, definitely be sure to pick them up so you don't have to come looking for them again. So to start off, you're going to get a mission objective at the top left saying to investigate the mansion. So by following this waypoint, it will take you round to an elevator, where it will then ask you to find two different items to repair the elevator. Now there's one item on each side of the house. The first one I'm going to show you is in the library. If you go up this ladder here, there will always be a zombie on the floor. Once you kill them, they will drop the fuse, which is the first part. The second item is on the other side of the house in the director's quarters. You want to shoot this computer here and it's going to drop a circuit board. Now make your way back to the elevator, go round to the back and you'll be able to input the items to repair the elevator. Once this is done, go around the front and activate it, and a horde of zombies will come out. You want to kill these and activate the elevator again to open up a zip line down to the basement. Now in here we're going to meet the Sam AI for the first time, and if you follow the marker just round to the side, you'll come into the Pack-a-Punch room. And now this is where the game stops giving you hints on what to do, and we begin the actual Easter egg. Now the first step of the Easter egg is acquiring the Ray Gun Mark II, which we all know now is the new wonder weapon for this map. So the first stage is to wait until round 10 and stay down in the room where the Sam AI is, and there will be a zombie with purple glowing eyes that you want to kill. This zombie will then drop a floppy disk. Next you want to take this floppy disk back upstairs into the first room on the right of the dinosaur statue. In here you'll find a computer with a green screen. Go up and interact with that and it will turn red. This is then going to spawn a load of vermin in the room that you're going to want to kill. And once you've done that, come back into this room and there'll be a fax machine that's printed out a piece of paper. If you hold to interact with that, it will show a 4-letter word. In this game, my 4-letter word is crab. Next you want to go into the PhD flopper room and you'll see there's a chalkboard with the alphabet written all over it. What you want to do is use your 4-letter word to create a 4-digit code. So if you look, my first letter C is in the top right hand corner and there are 7 letters in that group. This means my first digit is 7. The letter R is in the middle at the bottom in a group of 8, so my second digit is 8. A is in the top left in a group of 5. And B is back at the top right again in a group of 7. So in this game my code is 7857. Now if you head down into the Pack-a-Punch room, there is a door underneath you can open up, and then going inside you'll find there's a doppelgast trapped behind this door. You want to go up to the keypad next to it and type in that 4-digit code. Doing this will open the door and release the doppelgast. You're then going to want to kill this doppelgast, and upon doing so it'll drop a severed arm that you can pick up. Now if you carry on through the tunnels, you'll eventually find a room with a portal inside, and on the right will be the armory. If you head inside there, you'll see the Ray Gun Mark II sitting on the wall. You want to interact and place the arm on the hand scanner to the side of it, and this will unlock the Ray Gun Mark II that you can now pick up. By this point, you probably would have noticed these glowing blue crystals around the map. There are 4 in total, and now you have a Ray Gun Mark II, you can now use that to destroy these crystals. I'll show you the 4 locations on screen now, but what you're looking for, when you shoot it and destroy it, it's going to drop a bunch of salvage and other items. In one of them, there will be a yellow canister that you need to pick up. There are 3 of these in total that we need to find, and the first one comes from these blue crystals. Now the second one you're able to find in the room with the Sam AI. Along the wall you'll see there is this tube with a dead body inside holding the canister, and just to the left of that on the wall it will either say A or B. If you go over to where the locked up doppelgast was, just to the left outside the map, you'll see some pipe work with 2 pipes, one saying A and one saying B. Here you're going to want to have 2 tomahawks to throw at the valves to open them. So in this case my letter was A, so I threw 1 tomahawk at the A valve, and then the second one you want to throw at the one valve sitting on its own in the middle. Now if you don't want to have to craft tomahawks, there are some free ones scattered around the map that are there every game. There's one next to the Pack-a-Punch, there's one in the spawn room just on a log, and there's one in the nursery just next to this bed. This should be enough, however if you need more there is a crafting bench back in the room behind you. Now once you've turned these valves with the tomahawk, if you go back into the room where the dead body was inside of that glass tube, you'll notice there's gas all around it. Now you're going to want to use some explosive to blow up this glass window, whether it be a Molotov or even an underbarrel grenade launcher, and by doing this, this will drop the second canister that you can now pick up. Now the third and final canister is going to need a Casimir. Luckily for us, there is a free one that spawns every single game. If you follow where I go in the tunnels, you'll see that there's a body just holding a Casimir here. Now you want to take this outside back to where the double tap machine is. If you go down underneath, you'll see there's a window, and inside the window is that third canister. So now throw that Casimir on the floor and you'll see the Casimir sucks up that tube. All you have to do is wait for the Casimir to finish and it will drop tube number 3. These canisters are now going to be used to upgrade the Ray Gun Mark II to different variations. Now throughout your game, hopefully you've been shooting these wooden crates that you can find scattered around the map, as they can drop quite a lot of salvage. However, once you've destroyed enough of them, you'll see it drop an essence bomb. This bomb can then be used in the tunnels to blow up this wall next to the triple plate armor vest. This will then open up a tunnel into a new secret room where we're going to get our first upgrade. Before we head in, however, there are 2 more items we need to pick up around the map. The first item is in this fountain next to Quick Revive, and the second one is just inside another fountain outside of the PhD flopper room. Now if you head down into the secret room, you'll see there is a machine that you can put the canister into. This will then activate a laser coming from one of the crystals on the floor. You can then go ahead and put one of the reflectors that we just picked up onto the pedestal that the laser is pointing to, and this will bounce the laser around the room to another pedestal where you can put the second reflector. Once this is done, you'll notice the laser has ended up on a statue of a Doppelgast. You now need to go to the crystal where the laser beam comes from and knife it with a melee attack, and a beam of light will travel around the laser until it hits the statue. This will then bring the statue to life, and you need to kill this first Doppelgast. Once you've killed the Doppelgast, go ahead and pick up the second reflector that you put down and follow where I do in these tunnels until you find a third pedestal where you want to place this reflector down onto. Now head back to the first reflector and go and melee it, and it will move the reflector's position to where the laser now bounces off the second reflector as well onto another statue. Again, hit the crystal and it will spawn another Doppelgast that you need to take down. Now for the third and final one, just go ahead and hit the first reflector one more time with a melee to move its position, and then hit the crystal again and it will spawn the third and final Doppelgast, but this time this will be an elite enemy, so it will be a bit harder than the first 2 Doppelgasts to take out. But once you've taken it out, you can go back to the canister, pick it up, and you'll have your first Raygun Mark II upgrade. This canister can be placed on this machine in the doctor's quarters. Once placed down, you can upgrade your raygun at any point in your game to the purple variant, which is like a shotgun. Now for the second upgrade I'm going to show you, if you go over to where Speed Cola is outside, you'll see there's another machine where you can place a canister. Go ahead and put one in there, and you'll see that an abomination will spawn just down the stairs. Now you don't want to kill this abomination, but you do want it to attack you. Wait for it to start doing its laser attack, and you'll notice there are 3 small stones around the area. You want the laser to hit those 3 stones and they'll glow blue. Once they start glowing blue, you now want the abomination to do its charged attack and hit those same rocks. If done correctly, they will start floating in the sky and the abomination will disappear. You now need to protect this small portal that spawned in the middle of the area from all the vermin that are coming in to destroy it. This can be really difficult to do in the middle of a round, so I suggest waiting until the end of a round and holding a zombie. Now this should take about a minute as long as no vermin get into the portal and reduce the percentage down. But once this is done, you can go back to the canister, pick it up, and you've got your second upgrade. Now the bench for this upgrade is down by the armory underground next to the portal. This blue upgrade will now make the raygun fully automatic, so it's no longer a burst weapon. Now for the third and final upgrade, first off you're going to need to grab some explosives, whether it's grenades, molotovs, or the underbarrel grenade launcher on your weapon. Now as you'll notice, there are molotovs scattered around the map, just like there were tomahawks. There is one in the kitchen just underneath this cabinet, and there is also one in the dinosaur room upstairs next to the bar. Now using these and any other explosives you're able to pick up, you'll want to use them on these pods that are growing around the map. Now there will be 4 that spawn in your game, and the locations can move around. So in the background I'll show you all the locations where they can spawn, but once you've hit them with the explosive or the molotov, you'll notice the pod screeches and then drops itself and is able to be picked up. You want to take all 4 of these plants into the greenhouse area, where you'll find there is another machine where you can place a canister. Go ahead and put your third canister in there, and you'll notice there are these 4 machines in this room with the glass broken through, and you need to place the plants inside of there. Now once you've placed a plant, there will be about 30 seconds where purple-eyed zombies are going to try and destroy that plant before it grows. You need to protect this plant until it's fully grown, and then you can move on to the next one. Once all 4 plants are grown, you can go back to your machine, pick up the canister, and that is the third upgrade for the raygun. Now the workbench for this is right where you spawned at the start of the game. This will be the yellow upgrade, and it turns it into kind of like a sniper, where it shoots a really strong energy beam. Now you'll see when you use them, all of these upgrades are really strong in their own way, and are definitely worth doing every game, even if you're not doing the Easter egg. Now you probably would have noticed there are these giant paintings scattered around the map. Each painting correlates to a different raygun upgrade, so for the yellow one we've just created, head into the library and you'll see the first painting is there. Go ahead and interact with the machine next to the painting, and a bunch of enemies will spawn that you need to kill with the raygun upgrade. As this painting relates to the yellow upgrade of the raygun, I'm using this upgrade to get the kills. Once this soul box has been completed, you'll notice the painting opens up and you can head inside. Now for each of these paintings, we're going to have to complete a ritual inside of it. But for the items we need to complete this step to spawn, you actually have to head into the painting and then jump back out for them to become visible. For this painting, there are 3 items we need to pick up while in Aether Shroud. So go ahead and switch your field upgrade in the pause menu over to Aether Shroud, and we need to charge that up. Now if you're doing this at the end of the round and you forgot to change Aether Shroud over, you can always just go ahead and pick up the free power up, which will charge it up instantly. Now if you head into the room next to you and look through this hole in the floor, you'll notice the full power up will be sitting there. Go ahead and shoot that, and that will instantly charge your Aether Shroud. Now if you've got the augment on that extends the time in Aether Shroud, you're able to check all 6 spots in one use. If not, you'll have to use 2 Aether Shrouds, but I'll show you the best route now to take to check all 6 spots. So if you head up next to the bar, the first location is there, and you want to follow the path I'm taking now to see all the locations. As you'll notice, even after my Aether Shroud ran out, I was still able to see this item. That's because they still last in the area even a couple seconds after you leave Aether Shroud. Now I ran out after checking the 5th spot, so I went ahead and popped a Gobblegum to get my Aether Shroud back again, and here is the 6th location. Now once we've got all 3 of these items, you want to head back into the library, and on this bookcase you'll see 3 glowing books. You need to go ahead and interact with these books in a specific order, so keep interacting with these until all 3 of them light up, and you'll see this hidden door will open up. Now inside of here is the first ritual item that we're going to collect. Go ahead and pick that up, and then head back into the yellow painting, where you'll place down the Sentinel artifact and start the ritual. This yellow ritual is going to spawn an amalgam. Now you're going to need to use your yellow ray gun upgrade to break the shield, and then once the shield is broken, every bullet type is able to damage the amalgam. And when you've killed the boss and the ritual ends, you'll notice there is a floating body that gets sucked into the Sentinel artifact. Now this is just the first of 3 rituals we need to do, so now I'll head on to the next one. For this next one we're going to need the purple upgrade, which is found in the doctor's quarters, and then we're going to head over to the painting at the top of the elevator. Again, interact with the machine next to the painting, and you'll have to get kills with this ray gun until the painting opens up. Now head inside and you'll see there is a red bottle on the table right here. Now this spawns in the exact same place every game. You want to go and pick this up, and now we're going to go and find 3 glasses around the map that we're going to pour the wine into. The first one is just in this wine cellar here. This will spawn an Elder Disciple that you're going to need to go and kill. Once taken out, we're going to want to go and find 2 more. The second one is on a bench on the top floor in the dinosaur room. Again, interacting with this will spawn another disciple. And the third and final one you'll find in spawn on this bench right here. The disciple will spawn on the bridge. You need to take them out, and that's the 3rd disciple done. You now want to go to the top of the elevator, and you'll see on the wall there are 3 numbers written in blood. You'll want to remember these 3 numbers, head into the room with death perception, and there will be a safe just to the right of it where you can input those 3 digits to break open the case and get the ritual item. Now take this ritual item back into the painting, and you can place the Sentinel artifact down on the podium to start the next ritual. This one will spawn another Elder Disciple. This time it will have a purple shield, so use the new upgrade to destroy that shield, and once taken out, that is the 2nd ritual complete. The final ritual is going to require the blue upgrade for the ray gun. This one is found downstairs next to the armory. However, the painting for this one is hidden. So if you go to the top of the elevator, you'll see in the box there is this lamp that you can pick up. Then head next to Juggernog, and you'll see on the wall there is a hole where you can place the lamp. You then need to do a really easy game of Simon Says. So one of the 2 lamps on this wall will light up, and you need to go ahead and interact with those lights in the same order. Once this is done 3 times, a secret door will be unlocked, and you could go down and see the 3rd painting. Again, we're going to interact with the machine next to the painting and get kills to open it up, and don't forget to jump in and out of the painting to spawn the items we need for the next step. Now you're going to go and find a really small bell, which is really hidden and really hard to see. If you head back into the room where the free full power up is, there were 3 locations in this room where the bell can hide behind glass. Now you want to look at these 3 areas until you find a really small bell. Go ahead and pick that up, and then next you're going to want to go ahead and put on Brain Rot onto your weapon. Head back upstairs to the bar, and you'll see this ring for assistance sign. Go ahead and place the bell next to that. And now you want to turn a zombie with Brain Rot, and then hit the bell so that they jump over the bar. This zombie is then going to drink a bottle and then drop it down on the bar for you to pick up, and that is the 3rd ritual item. Now head down back into the secret room, and you're going to want to put the secret item onto the podium and begin your 3rd and final ritual. This time it's going to spawn a Mangler, so go ahead and use your upgraded ray gun to kill the Mangler, and then you can go ahead and pick up the Sentinel artifact for the last time. At this point, we are ready to go into the boss fight, so before you do so, make sure you've got tier 3 armor, Pack-a-Punch 3, and any perks that you want to take in. And with this boss fight, I would also recommend taking in a Chopper Gunner, because it makes one of the stages really easy, and also can prevent you from dying if you need to pull it out. Now whenever you think you're ready, go back down to the Sam AI, and you can give the Sentinel artifact here. This will then start a cutscene and take you into the boss fight arena. As you're probably aware by now, the boss fight is the T-Rex that is in the middle of that main room in the mansion. Now for this boss fight, the blue upgrade for the ray gun is probably the easiest one to use, and can probably give you the easiest time. However, I used the purple shotgun variant and I quite enjoyed that as well, but I would definitely not take the yellow one in, as it doesn't do as much damage as the other two against this boss. Now for this boss fight, the T-Rex is going to be chasing you around this small area, and all you have to do is shoot it down. You'll notice the eyes of the T-Rex are the crit points, and at certain times the T-Rex will actually eat some of the gas zombies that are running around, and they'll show on the side of the T-Rex. You want to shoot them, and that will give you a massive up to 24,000 damage in one hit, which is really useful. But if you leave it too long, it will actually spray out the gas and make the arena harder to run around in. Now this boss fight has 4 stages, and at each stage it will jump out of the arena and give you a bit of breathing room by spawning in some zombies. But as it jumps back down, you'll notice it's actually quite a lot quicker. So I can't stress this enough, if you need to run away, run away. You've got as much time as you need in here, so keeping your distance and making sure that you're safe when you're doing damage is a priority. Because I've done this boss fight quite a few times now, and a lot of the time, if we're just focusing on damage, you can get tripped up and the dinosaur can take you out so fast. Now there are a few main ways you can die in this boss fight that I want to point out. The first one is it will just run you over, which is why I say keep as much distance between you two as possible. As it charges you, it can knock you back and do massive amounts of damage. The second thing, if you get too close behind the dinosaur, it will do a massive tail attack, which does loads of damage and can also throw you away in the air. And if you don't have the augment on stamina that stops you from taking full damage, this can also do a lot of damage. Now the final thing I want to point out, the longer you're in this boss fight, the more gas areas that are going to spawn on the floor. Running through these is a death wish, so you want to avoid these at all times because it will slow you down and it would also do damage to you. So if you're trying to run away from this T-Rex and you're running through these gas areas, it's just not going to be a fun time. Other than that, there's not much else to say other than good luck. I hope this guide has helped, and make sure to look out for the other videos where I'm going to be covering side Easter eggs, including a way to get a free Wonder Wafer, some free perks, and all of the shootable power-up locations. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.